Hey, this is Jim the DM, and we're here for Game 11 in the Eotha Chronicles, our Sons of Sorrow. And tonight I've got with me four guys, three of our regulars, and we got a new guy with us tonight. Let's go ahead and let the regulars introduce themselves, starting with Clyde. Go ahead, Clyde.
Hello, I am Clyde, the Snapping Turtle. I will be playing Garn, the Earth Gensai Ranger, who is the chosen one. It's good to see all these guys back again. All right, Eric. Eric.
Hello, I am Eric, and I will be playing your friendly neighborhood half-orc, barbarian, druid, bear. We don't need his real name. Everybody knows him as the friendly bear. Yeah, and nice to see the people back, and I'm the talking figurehead of whatever Google Hangout gave me. Yeah.
Go ahead, Caleb.
All right, hey, I am Caleb. I am playing Ryan. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Nothing like a good mystery.
Cool. And our new guy, Samuel, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Samuel. Obviously, I'm the new guy. I'm going to be the Fantasy Ground screen for tonight. And, yeah, there's a character attached to that screen, so, yeah.
All right. Well, where we left off last time, after having just, after having just gotten to meet Mim for the first time, having come back through the door that was standing in the middle of the frozen tundra and mountains, just the doorway, the group goes through and finds himself back in Sol's home, in his workshop with his with his very large crew, appearing out of nowhere. Sol speaking to them, very curious about how they show up from that room, and he leaves the group talking to Sir Edinburgh, takes Sir Edinburgh by around his shoulder, wanting to talk to him, very interested after having been very apprehensive about seeing him down there. And the three of you watch as Sol takes Sir Edinburgh away.
What do you guys think that's all about?
I have no idea.
Must have heard about the door killing.
Ah, yes, of course, the Door Slayer. Ryan's kind of looking at his hand because he found that ring from the stash, and he's sitting there looking at it, just kind of looking it over.
And Garn will be adjusting these new gloves and waiting for either Soul to come back or something.
So Ryan would kind of look over at Garn, and so was that your first run-in with Lociel, with Mim?
Yep.
Where I come from, there were a lot of stories about her, him, whatever form she decides to take.
It's the first time I've seen her. Next time I'll make sure it's the last.
Oh, be careful when you tread around her. My concerns right now are definitely for Woad. Last time we saw him, he was leaving, and he was heading up to the mountain, and that's where she said she had her men.
It's definitely something that we might need to check into. I've not found this other one yet, and I guess this hunting is starting to. I don't know if they're still in the city anymore.
Well, I wonder if Woad's mission was to get us into town, that we might interact with Min. He may have known that she was here, or a way to get to her. I don't know. But perhaps he basically led us to the beginning point and we have to follow those breadcrumbs until we find another of the Devas.
That's a that's a astute assumption.
If he was,
Go
if
ahead.
if Woad was going off into the mountain, do you think that might be a so-called? He kind of looks at Ryan and goes, "Breadcrumb."
I definitely think that it might be, but my guess is Woad came from Aletheus when he came to Sorrow's Rest. I don't know. I haven't been able to get a hold of Woad. I haven't been able to reach him.
He definitely left out a few. He left out a few details about actually knowing where one of the Devas were.
You sound upset about that.
I'm I'm all for the hunt, but I refuse to I refuse to be led blindly around. If he knew information, he should have told me instead of throwing me out to find people that I don't even know what they look like.
If Bear kind of looks at Gorn and goes, "Well, you're Earth, right?"
Yes.
Wouldn't the other ones kind of bear some resemblance of the elemental they represent?
I I, I don't know since
Woad spoke of this. Um, Perhaps it was only to me, and I apologize. I wasn't ever trying to withhold information. I thought we all knew. But yeah, Woad said that the four devas of earth, of land, of water, and fire, of earth, of air, of water, and fire. Sorry.
right. But if you, as you can tell, other than the fact that I look like a dark skin color, I don't exactly stand out for as an Earth. And I imagine the other ones are about the same way as me. So do I just walk around? Have you seen somebody that looks like me but is a different color? I look almost human in some aspects.
Yeah, but I believe it is the characteristics that you bear that pull you furthest from human that make you stand out the most. I worry if we did go knocking on doors and just asking everybody if they know anybody, then we might draw some unwanted heat. Woad, it was a wise individual. I don't currently think that we should follow him up the mountain. Not yet. He said that it would be the four devas that brought it into chaos. He's not a deva. Right now, our mission should be to figure out how we can land one of these other devas. Mim did warn us that one of them didn't want anything to do with us, but I do think that that still leaves two others that we might be able to reach out to.
Well, I wasn't. Bear says I wasn't recommending we just blindly charge up a hill. Um, I think, but I agree with you. I think we should take it one at a time. I still believe there's one supposed to be in Aletheus, correct?
He said, if I remember correctly, Guard, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he told you that to find the next one, we needed to go to Aletheus. Perhaps our clues are actually, perhaps they lie somewhere within those that we have currently interacted with, whether that be Soul or perhaps even Lociel. Maybe
Well,
they are the ones who are pointing us in the right direction.
yeah. Well, I've been along the water to try to use the simple tactic, but I haven't found anybody that is naturally taken to the water, unless they're a sailor and they're not even here, which they're safer.
Do we know which of the Devas was in Aletheus?
I don't believe that was ever said.
Hmm. Well, if it was, I'm guessing if it would be fire, they might have an obsession with the flames, which also could mean they could be a smith. Because smiths are around fire a lot. So I
That's
mean,
very true.
there's a lot of things somebody could be and hide their love for an element under a profession. Like Garn said, a sailor or a blacksmith or what have you.
Yeah, I think we should also consider that Woe did not specifically say there was one in Aletheus. He said we needed to go to Aletheus to find the first one. Perhaps something in Aletheus will draw us elsewhere.
Bear kind of chuckles, goes, "There is one in Aletheus." He looks at Gar.
And Ryan kind of smiles and he says, "We're done then. We can go back up to the mount. We found him."
Well, mission. Bear kind of likes joking, continuing the gesture, slaps Garn on the back, going, "Well, successful mission. I think we can now move on to our next thing of smiting the evil gods."
And as you're saying this and getting jolly and chuckling with each other, and Garn is wearing an obvious frown on his face at all of this poking fun of what he believes his ultimate goal in life is, you see a man. I'm making no attempt to hide from you. It's obvious. A man whom you have yet to see. This is not one of the big men that you've always seen with Soul. This is another man who looks very much like Soul. In fact, oddly similar, almost identical, save for a long scar that goes from the side of his face all the way down to right below his mouth. He leans in to Soul, seeing you, the three of you, never takes his eyes off of you. Eyes land on Garn, and noticeably never quits looking at Garn. Continues to barely move his lips, speaking into Soul's ear. Steps back, looks at Soul, nods. Soul pats him on the shoulder, looks over his shoulder back at the three of you, looks back at this man, and the man goes up the spiral steps back up into the kitchen. At which point, he looks over at Sir Edinburgh, gives him a good nod, and you hear him loudly go, "Sir, we will definitely be in touch. I would love to talk about those agreements with you." And you see Sir Edinburgh smiling, enjoying the conversation, being a part of it, in absolute agreement. Yes, you can see that he is very, very much happy about this deal, obviously concerning his family's sand. And as Soul turns to walk towards you, you watch his smile fade, focuses in on Soul, squints his eyes, looks at you, turns and begins to go up the steps. And right before reaching the ceiling where he'll go back to the kitchen, he looks at you again. And gentlemen, the three of you, please roll an insight for me.
One second, I gotta get it go.
It's all good.
Bones.
Yeah, I forgot. Bones is gonna hate me. Bones. Yeah, I got a 10.
Where the deuce is Bones at?
Man.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
It's a trap.
Don't trust it, whatever you do.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I'll roll on. Oh God. Oh Lord. That is not good for me. I got a 10. 6 plus 4.
Awesome. You got the two of you, Garn and Bear, see it, and to you it seems like serious concentration as he's looking at you. But Ryan, as you look at it, there's no mistaking it to you. It's actually worry and concern. And then, having made eye contact with you, and you catch that, he nods at you, almost saying farewell, as he continues up the spiral staircase and leaving your side. Soul comes up to you with a big smile on his face. Gentlemen, what a chance meeting that was. I have heard about that man all over town. You do realize how good of a fighter he is. I mean, seriously, he's a champion of all sorts. That man knows how to take down another person. Oh, it's fun. I've bet against him too many times for my own stupidity. Wow. Well, gentlemen, it seems that he's going to be working for me for a moment, seeing if maybe we can reach a deal with him and his family. Until then, I do have somebody I would like you to meet. You seem to do very well with that fourth member. Yes, with that fourth person in your group. The three of you tend to work very well, but you seem to adapt just as well when you have that fourth person. I've been thinking of this for a while, maybe making him your fifth, but seeing as how Sir Edinburgh is gone, the fourth I think he shall be. He is quite incredible. In fact, hey, Wolfpack! Wolfpack! And he does a dog whistle real quick. Wolfpack, get over here!
And at this, you see a gentleman enter that's got some leather armor on that's underneath some very nice green clothing. Obviously a gift from Saul for his recent dealings with Saul. And you can see just underneath the hood, this is a human that stands around 5'7", weighs maybe 145 pounds. But you see just underneath the hood a man that is scarred all about his face. You can tell that it's been some kind of like animal bites and some sort of claw marks across his face as well. And he kind of enters in and kind of looks over at Saul and starts to just give out this low. I told you not to call me that.
Oh, but you come by it so honestly.
and just like a lost dog, like he'll slowly kind of pad over to him and lower himself on floors and kind of look up to him like, whatever.
As mean as this one looks, oh worry, his bite is really bad. There's no bark to him at all. He doesn't say anything, he won't back up. This one right here, I can use him against, many of my enemies. He's a one-man wrecking crew. I enjoy it. It's always fun to watch. I've been trying to talk him for days into fighting against Edinburgh. He just won't do it. But anyway, Wolfpack, I want you to go with them, all right? Keep an eye on them, and let it be known. They're good folk, all right? Don't bite them.
Right, sir. And he'll kind of stand up on his feet and walk over to you all and extend his hand in greeting, kind of waving at you, and say, "I am Flux, White Fang." And he kind of reaches for his shield and his club at this point, and he shows you, "I'm not the best warrior out there, but I have a couple of friends that are." And he'll slowly kind of put these items away and look at each of you and kind of sizing you up, and then he'll immediately notice the half-orc and kind of snarl, friendly, kind of standoffish as well, kind of confused at what he is exactly.
And so Ryan would kind of, with his eyes lingering on the steps that have walked away where the guy went, he would extend his arm out to shake your hand and kind of come back across and look at you and not really say anything, but hold his hand out to shake your hand. And now he'd look at you, and after you kind of give him his handshake, he'd turn back to Soul and just kind of be looking quizzically at Soul.
Yes, well, I guess now that there, again, are 4 of you. Yes.
And he'll kind of try to not be too rude and kind of interrupt the boss for a moment and say, "So which one do I listen to?"
Which one do you listen to? Well, and you watch his Soul's face get a little dark, as he's obviously trying to decide who to relinquish a bit of his authority to. Having watched you look more confused at the half orc, doesn't really feel too confident about it. He looks over at Garn and his eyes linger, points at Garn, and then moves over. I think I think Ryan will be your best friend. Ryan, I think you might have found your new man's best friend. I am full of them today. Anyway, so what I have for you, we have the keys made. We are ready. Almost. There is one last thing that we need to do, or rather, that we need you to do. This one is going to show you, ultimately, the best of all that you need. This one is the biggest problem and has only recently reached our attention. It seems that the state has acquired some, well, let's call them ringers. brought in a group who are quite powerful. Yes, quite powerful. I'm afraid of them. I'll say that outright. But you, I think the 4 of you, and I think it'd be easier if you had your 5th buddy, but circumstances are circumstances. But with the 4 of you, I think you can handle this, and I think it will be fun. They are known to, well, let's just say that they're known to be heavily equipped. Let's see. There is one that we know of. He is a man. He goes by the name of Grim, and honestly, if he was in a crowd of other people, you'd never, ever know this man. You wouldn't be able to tell him from your own father. But the other 2 that he keeps with him, that's how you know who Grim is. There is another man with him, another person, unsightly fellow, just covered from head to toe in armor. I mean, from head to toe. The man keeps himself completely covered. I don't know why. It's very odd. I wouldn't do that, especially with all that heavy armor he keeps wearing. I mean, seriously, from head to toe in metal, chink, chink, chink. You don't understand. He is this. What are you gonna do? We live by the ocean. You walk off one day. Anyway, I digress. But the other one seems to have some style. He has a jacket, and I would love to have that jacket. He has this long coat that has tails on it and a very high collar. He keeps his face covered, and he always is wearing these goggles over his eyes with a hat, and the jacket's collar always comes up to here, so you never. He looks so good. I want him to work for me, and I want that jacket. Anyway, that's how you'll find Grim. The other 2, my informants have yet to be able to find any information on either of the 2 of them, other than that the one wears armor and keeps a very giant, long hammer on him. And is quite good with it, actually. And that the other is very good at, well, the term that we keep being told is that he likes his perch. We've not ever been able to see him do anything or catch a glimpse of it. Only the corpses in his wake. So, if you could find the time, I would really appreciate it. If you could help take care of these ringers. It would be so much help, and to know that they are not in the middle of our plan. Once you take care of those ringers, we'll be able to storm the castle, and we will be able to subdue the king. It will be glory for the populace of Elathius.
And at this, Flux will kind of sniff the air and kind of look towards Saul and nod and kind of hold his head down.
Where do we find these ringers?
Honestly, I hear they're currently staying in the castle, but, well, I would not suggest creating another one of your fabled diversions. I don't think that in this situation it would be as helpful. It would be fun, but it would not be helpful this time. My suggestion is, if we know about their ringers, I'm certain that they were called in because they found out about ours. And he gestures toward the three of you.
So we're likely to run into them on the street. Is that what you're saying?
You are very likely to run into them. I'm not certain it might be on the streets. I hear they're not too keen on collateral damage. But wherever you find them, be my guest. Take them out. And everything that you find on them will be yours. In fact, I can't let it go. I'll say it to you anyway. Gentlemen, in that time you were gone, in those 6 days you were missing, my men came across let's just call it exactly what it is, an illegal shipment. Are you familiar with the men of Corlosi Saber?
No.
No?
No.
Well, needless to say, they were chasing after, a friend of mine. He happens to captain the Merry Windsor, and on this Merry Windsor, they anchored for moments, honestly, out in the bay, and, they owed me a favor, and they brought me some items, very special items, and I promise you, I will dedicate one of each of the items in that chest. And he goes, that chest, and he points his thumb directly, like there is no way for you to miss a giant 4-foot-tall chest that's 6 feet wide and 4 feet deep, sitting over by the wall now. There's nothing special about it except for its size. I will guarantee you, each, one thing in that chest. I'll be honest, I don't have quite the ability right now to know what each of them are, but let's say if you can take care of them by tomorrow morning. If you take care of them before tomorrow morning, it's fine. You can come tell me, and you can You can pick what you like without me knowing what it is. But if you come after tomorrow morning, I'm afraid that, having known what it is, some of it will have a higher value. So let's say that if you finish it sooner, you might be able to get a steal from me. However unlikely that is, if you do it, you may.
Yeah, Flux is just kind of looking over at Ryan at this point, currently.
And kind of realize he's being watched and a little unfamiliar with the feeling. He looks back over at Flux, and then he looks over at Garn and Bear and says, well then, it seems like we have ourselves a time frame, an opportunity. But let me ask you, so, do you extend the same offer to Flux, your man's best friend, as you put it?
Well, no. Why would I do that? The three of you are my ringers. Flux is assisting you on behalf of myself.
I owe him a little favor.
Yes,
He's
but
close
your life.
to fit in this monstrosity of a dwelling I'll call a city.
And what better way to fit in with the ringers than to have your own prize? So I believe that should he find a way to help us and return to you, you can find a way to have him pay his debt back to you some other way.
Make a persuasion roll.
That is a 17. Could have been better.
What?
I said it could have been better.
Okay. You see Soul look over at Flux. Begins to nod his head. All right. I can agree to it. I mean, it does seem fair, and I'm certain I will have other favors that need to be repaid. Isn't that right, Wolfpack?
He nods, kind of begrudgingly, albeit loyal as ever, though.
And that you will. That's what I like about him. Loyal.